Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Let me get my camera ready. How have you been?
Doing all right. What about yourself?
Busy, 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 busy. Always busy. I'm like, how are we not so? It's still so busy. I guess adapting takes a lot of work too, huh?
Yes, I
uh,
believe so.
well, let me take care of some housekeeping. I'm going to make you a co-host. My
Okay.
One of my colleagues already told me that her laptop shut in the middle of a session, but she made somebody co-host. It was continuing to run its course, so that's fine. So I'm
Okay.
co-host. So I'm going to share my screen first, as I have like some housekeeping slide to post first later. Um,
Yeah.
and let me spotlight you so that it just records you. Hmm, that's weird. I made you a co-host, but it's not letting me spotlight you. Hmm.
Mm,
Make host, withdraw, assign. That's strange.
I think it's because there's just two of us.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. Maybe when they're no, actually, I think I spotlighted the person before when we were setting up too. I'll try again later when there's more people.
All
So,
right. No
so
problem.
we'll just go ahead and wait until about 5. I'll go ahead and mute and things like that, and then we'll get rolling once we have people in the waiting room. Any questions? Do you need anything?
Nope. Nope. I don't think so.
Yeah. All right. Okay. And would you like me to go ahead and admit them, or would you like me to wait a minute still? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Oh, Caitlin, you're muted. Oh, there we go.
I was just saying I admitted Ray.
Perfect.
I saw someone else, but
Yeah, they went
they're
away.
gone.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let me share my screen for a minute. Oh,
Sure.
oh no, did we boot them? Stop sharing real quick. Where'd they go? Hopefully they come back. Oh, here's another person. Hi, hey, oh, connecting to audio. Hi, Haley, are you there? Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Great. Okay. So it's 5 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen for just a moment and go over some housekeeping pieces. Okay. And so welcome to day one of our Global Engagement Expo, and welcome to the USAC session. My name is Eileen Vickery. I'm one of the Study Abroad and Global Engagement Advisors at Cal State Fullerton. And so for today's session, a little bit of some housekeeping. Please note that all sessions for the Expo will be recorded for posterity. We're going to add them to our Global Engagement webpage, same place where you registered and were able to access the Zoom links. For now, we're all going to keep ourselves muted unless you're the presenter, just so there's not any background noise and things like that. I already forgot to do that in the first session, and I think I was typing away. So I'll be sure to mute myself as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to add them into the chat. Although we're so far a smaller group, we can also unmute ourselves later when it's time for questions. And yeah, so that's basically everything. Is there anything you wanted to add, Caitlin, before we get started? Oh, there's everybody else. Okay, so that's it for me. I've stopped sharing, and take it away.
All right. Hi, everyone. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate your time, and I'm excited that you're interested in studying abroad. It's one of the best things I think you can do for yourselves in college. And today, I am going to be talking a little bit about University Studies Abroad Consortium. So that's USAC, that's who I work for, and about the programs we offer, how we make them affordable, different types of opportunities that are available for you. I'm going to try and fit this into about 20 minutes, and then if there are any questions, we can go over that. Hopefully at the end, if there's time, we can touch on the website as well, because there's lots of really great resources there, and I want to show you the tools to get to the resources on that. So if you're watching this live or as a recording, you can follow along at usac.edu. There are a lot of tools I'm going to be pointing out, so feel free to have that open in another browser while you're looking. And without further ado, let's jump into it. Like I mentioned, I'm Kate. I work with USAC. I've been with USAC for a few years. Before I did work in study abroad, I studied abroad myself as a student several times, loved it so much. It was, I mean, I think you'll hear this from anyone in study abroad, that it's a life-changing experience. And if you're interested, you know, there's probably a million, maybe not a million, more realistically, you probably have 1,000 different options, honest to goodness, like for programs to select. And that can be pretty overwhelming, of course. That's plenty of programs to choose from. And so I'm here to help you to explain a little bit more about what USAC is and why you might choose USAC or our programs compared to something else. We are a third-party provider, so we sort of package the whole experience together for you with our own program professors and getting you enrolled and things like that. I'll walk you through those steps through this presentation. But USAC's been around for almost 40 years. We're a nonprofit, which sets us apart from other providers. And we're university-based. We're actually run out of the University of Nevada, Reno, and we're a consortium of other universities. So a group of universities that sort of form our actions. And we have programs in over 50 locations around the world, really affordable programs. That's our big pillar. at USAC is making programs affordable and accessible to all students. So I'm going to be talking quite a bit about scholarships and affordability as well towards the end of the presentation. And we go to a lot of neat locations, off the beaten track locations. These are the countries that we go to. And within these, we actually have several program cities. So in a place like Australia, we have 3 different options. In Chile, we have 1 option. Czech, 1 option. England, we have 4 options. So there's if you expanded this out, it would be about 56 different locations around the world, which is great. We offer programs in the summer, so short term, even short term over January. We offer semester and year-long programs and programs for just about any major or minor. So I say that's good because there's just lots of options and potential programs that are a perfect fit for you. So you're probably thinking, okay, now what do I do with all this information? If there's so many different fits for me or possible fits for me, like where do I start? So the place you start is on our website. We have this program search tool. It's really simple. You go to usac.edu. In the middle of the page, there is a drop-down button that allows you to select from any of these majors. If you don't find your major, which might be hard, because I think we have just about everything there, you can always use the keyword search tool on our website. And from there, you can hit go. You can even further select down by semester or by country. You hit go, it populates all of the options within those parameters that you set. And that's a really great place to kickstart your discovery process for finding a program. So check that out, because if you're a student that's worried about finding programs in your major, a quick glance at that is going to help, set you at ease to see what opportunities there are. And to show you quickly, this is sort of what you might find. It's not going to look the same on the website, but business, for example, there's lots of different majors and minors and, subsets of the business major. And on our website, you'll find all of these different options for business majors. If you're a business major, you can take a picture of this real quick or take a screenshot or whatever, because I'm going to skip to the next one to show you education. This is another example. This isn't to say that we only offer business and education. I just picked some of the most popular majors, this just to show you an example of how many different options exist. The next one, art, architecture and design, that's pretty popular abroad as well, and there's many options. And I also wanted to explain, sorry, before I pass to the next one, that again, these countries may have several locations inside of them. So you can expand this table even further. Once you get to the website, use that program search tool and say you're looking for art, you're going to see the Australia options pop up, and then there might be 3 different options within that country for you to discover. So what is included in a program? I want to tell you a little bit about what one might look like. I'll actually go through a couple examples, and then I'll show you on the website where you can find this info. But so study abroad isn't just studying, right? It's a mixture of different things. You're living abroad as well, right? So housing is a big thing when you're studying abroad. You spend a lot of time with the people you live with and the people you eat with. So on our programs, we offer different opportunities depending on the location. And I should mention, all of our programs are a little bit unique. They're not cookie cutter in any way, but a lot of our programs offer homestay options. They offer apartment options or different on-campus sort of dormitory options as well. I've stayed with host families before and I highly recommend it, but I've also lived with other students and I highly recommend that as well. But you might want to find more about that on that program site specifically, so you understand, what you're getting yourself into, because that's going to be a lot of your time spent abroad is, where you're living. But besides that, there's other things that you want to think about, what's happening outside of the classroom that you can get involved with. What immersion activities are there? We offer internships, which is an awesome way. This is another thing that I did while I was abroad, and I 100% recommend doing an internship while you're abroad. It's a great thing to have to to grow yourself personally and professionally, academically as well. But when you graduate college and you already have an international internship on your resume, it's a pretty good boost for you. So I recommend that. We do offer internships, we offer volunteer opportunities, ways to get involved in the local, scene. So through sports clubs, student clubs, conversation partners, different workshops, a variety of different opportunities, some even, little extra pay opportunities as well. And of course, all of our programs at USAC come with field trips attached to them for no additional cost, because we truly believe that, you're not only learning in the classroom, and you're there to sort of see the area as well. So we like to get students outside of the classroom, into the streets, into the museums and the organizations around wherever you're at, to learn more about what's going on there. So that's just a little glimpse of the things outside of the academic focus. But if we take a look at what's involved in a program, and so I'm just showing you sort of, this one is our program in Khon Kaen, Thailand. I'm using the academic example from our program in Khon Kaen as well. But this is what you might expect to see for a program in terms of course opportunities. So you see some courses. This program tends to focus on Thai culture. It focuses on health and society. So they have a lot of neat sort of cross-listed courses available, but there's other options as well, including language learning opportunities. And I'll show you this in a little bit on the website, how this all sort of breaks down for you. Here's another example of one of our programs in Korea. This is a really popular location these days. And this program has a lot of options for art. So I wanted to show you some of those courses that you could take, but also mention that there's other options as well in business, in language and culture, as well as the arts and humanities. Another program, Spotlight, just to give you a quick glimpse of a few examples. This is our program in Gold Coast, Australia, where we have courses for education again, but then a mix of arts and humanities, business, criminology, law, and even STEM courses. So this is to show you that you can find a mix of opportunities at most locations. So if you haven't found something you're looking for yet, chances are that there's something there, and you can always reach out to us, studyabroad@usac.edu. You can set up an appointment with one of our advisors to help you, get on track there. But I do want to touch on the affordability piece, because that's really important to USAC, and we're often found to be the most affordable third-party provider when it comes to, the price of the programs. So part of that is helping students understand, what resources they have available to them, whether it be their financial aid or, scholarships, or the different options that we offer as a service from USAC. So getting into that a little bit, I wanted to take you through some of the info, some of the most common questions that we get for pricing, right? So you can sort of see this list of questions, and we're going to get to all of these. But if you look at the map on the right-hand side of this screen, you'll see just a few programs that I've pulled out and popped out and shown you the price of the cost of attendance. So what you see here, if you look at India, for example, it's $8,367 as a cost of attendance. And if you're familiar with, the financial aid lingo, cost of attendance is the entire cost of the program, including your program fee, so tuition, your housing, your food, your airfare, all of the other additional expenses you would assume you'd spend during that time period, whether it be the tuition or, the food, all of that together. These are the numbers what you should expect to pay at the end of the day after you return from study abroad. That's probably what you're looking at having paid. So I wanted to pull this out because this is an interesting look. You often don't get this sort of description for how much a program costs, because it's something you sort of like realize as you're going through it. But we have the approach of we want students to have a proactive measure of understanding what their program is going to cost them. So what we do is put together a program budget sheet, an interactive budget sheet. And so I'm going to show you right here what that looks like. Take a deep breath. It's pretty daunting looking, but it's really helpful because it gives you really a transparent view of all of the costs you should be thinking about and you should be considering when putting together, your budget. And you can get to each one of these so each program has one of these for each term. And you can get there by going to our website, picking a program and going to the fees and deadlines page for that program. And then you'll see this interactive budget sheet, which you can click on. This is an example for our Montevideo, Uruguay spring program. And you can see it might be a little bit small on your screen, so I'd say check it out on your website. But it has it sort of segmented the different aspects of your experience. So your program fee, your tuition, your housing, if your food, or if that is included, it will all be in there. And the different prices for housing, for example, because there's different options, they're going to have different pricing. And every program, if this isn't already obvious, is going to have a different price because every country and different city has a different cost of living and different costs associated with them. But anyway, this is going to be a huge help because you're going to be able to see, depending on what you plan to take advantage of on your study abroad opportunity, how much it's going to cost you and how much then you should consider financing, right? Through yourself, through financial aid, through scholarships. And that's the next part that I want to get into. Financial aid, you'll learn a lot of info from your own study abroad office and your own university. I encourage you to reach out to them, your financial aid office, your study abroad office, to understand what they want you to do in terms of going abroad. But financial aid does help study abroad. Your federal aid does apply. Your state aid, unfortunately, it differs from university to university, but your state aid may not apply to particular programs like this. So what you want to do is learn about information about scholarships, because scholarships can make up for some of that lost funding from state aid not being able to be transferred or carried over to your study abroad opportunity. So wanted to mention that really quickly and move on to that scholarship piece, because there's lots of different opportunities there. And I hear from students all the time, worried about the cost of studying abroad. There are ways to make it affordable, and scholarships is a big part of that. The one thing, if you take away from this one slide or this presentation, and if it's particularly about scholarships, apply to scholarships early, because scholarship deadlines come up much earlier than your program application deadline. And if you see at the bottom of this page, the USAC scholarships, we offer scholarships through USAC, and I'll tell you about that on the next slide. But our scholarship deadlines, so for example, for this summer and for next fall, those deadlines are March 15th. So that's, a month from now, essentially. Which you might not be thinking about if you're thinking about fall and you're thinking, okay, well, I'll make a decision maybe in April. Well, you'll be past that deadline already. So I did want to mention that and talk to you a little bit more about the USAC scholarships. We offer, usually it's a little different this year because we have less students studying abroad, but we typically share about $2 million in scholarships to our students through all of these different types of scholarship opportunities. And like I mentioned before, one of our the big piece of our organization is accessibility and affordability. What we've done for our GPA requirements is actually lowered them to 2.5. You can see the ones at the bottom half of the screen are all now 2.5. Those were just 3.0 not too long ago. And we wanted to lower those so that more students would have access to applying to these scholarships and then, gaining those funds. But this is a list of some of our scholarships. And the nice thing about what we do with our scholarships is that once you apply to one of our programs, then you'll have access to our scholarship. Once you apply to our scholarship, you just apply once, and we filter you into all of these scholarships that you're eligible for. So even though you can understand this, okay, maybe you would be eligible for the London Diversity one and the First Generation one and the STEM one, but you don't have to apply to those separately. We would just filter you into your application into all of those scholarships with that one application, which is really nice. It saves you time. So there's really no reason why you shouldn't apply if you're applying to a USAC program. You can find more about our scholarships on our website by going to the Money Matters page. I'll show you that in a little bit, but it's pretty simple to navigate to. You click on Money Matters and then scholarships, and you can even find a list of external scholarships there, so national scholarships, and then a lot of info on how to apply to those bigger national scholarships like the Benjamin Gilman one, which I'm going to tell you about in just a minute. But again, I want to reiterate early deadlines. You can see that right here. External scholarships can be really helpful. They sometimes have greater award amounts, but sometimes they're just take a little bit longer to apply to. And so that's why I wanted to point out that resource where you can find webinars, tips, and resources on putting in your best application. Now, if you are a Pell Grant recipient, you should write this down. The Benjamin Gilman Scholarship is for Pell Grant recipients, and the average award is $4,000. This is a really great scholarship. So is the Boren, so is Freeman, so is FEA. All of these are really great. So take a screenshot of this if you'd like to go check it out, or just go to our Money Matters page and click on the external scholarships. But I just wanted to take a brief moment to give a shout out to these specific scholarships because they can help you. So if you're a Pell Grant, a Pell Grant recipient, apply to the Benjamin Gilman Scholarship for sure, or look into it, you know. And I wanted to touch on this only just to give you some ideas. I didn't want to spend too much time on this piece particularly, but it's a tough time in the world now, and not everyone has, you know, like an overflowing cup of endless amounts of, you know, resources, especially money. So thinking about studying abroad and making it more affordable, here are some ways that you can help, you know, yourself out a little bit. You can fundraise. Of course, you can check out more of our resources on our blog that we offer. We have a lot of students that have gotten creative, and they have blog posts on our blog about what they've done to finance their study abroad. So I would check that out. I would consider looking into, you know, crowdsourcing from maybe some family or friends if that's something that you are comfortable with. But the big thing here is that USAC has payment plans, which you might not be aware of. So if you aren't able to front the money for your entire program cost before you go abroad, reach out to us because we have payment plans. And like I mentioned earlier, there are a few program locations that offer sort of extra cash opportunities by, you know, babysitting and tutoring and being assistants in different ways for our programs abroad. So if you ever have questions about that, let us know. And to wrap up this whole affordability piece, I wanted to give a shout out to some of our programs that are a little bit more affordable than the others, and these are them by region. And you can see the semester program fee and the summer program fee, which are some of the most affordable places to go. So what now? We want to go to usac.edu. So I'm going to take you there in just a second and start exploring the program pages and what resources we have there. And you definitely want to reach out to us at USAC. So you can email studyabroad@usac.edu. I'll put my contact in the chat as well, so you have that. And then once you're ready to apply, you apply. You can apply to scholarships. There's so much information on the website, so I'm not going to you know, read all that off right now. But if you do have questions and you want to get in touch with us to have an advising session, please do, you know, reach out. We'd be happy to do that. We talk with students every day, all the time. So let me get the website up. And I see the chat is blinking. Is there anyone? Are there internships that are credit bearing? Yes, or have certification. I'm planning on looking at virtual summer programs. Yes, we actually have virtual internships as well. Let me show you where you can find that information. And they are credit bearing. They're usually 3 credits for internships. Thank you for asking that question. Here's that program search tool, like I mentioned. You can even click here and go to internships based on a location, based on a specific time. If you want to check out summer, we can hit go. No problem, Priscilla. Thank you for asking that question. You can see which programs populate. So we got several locations. So Italy, you can't really read that very well, but you click on view programs and there's actually a few options there. So for example, if we wanted to go to Torino, we click there, we'd go to that program site. That's where it's taking us. And you'll find information about that program. So the fees and deadlines, remember I mentioned that interactive budget sheet, that's right in there. It's going to be really simple to find. You just have to click your term first to make sure that it's the proper one, and that's right there. But if you're looking for courses, you can click on the course tab and see what courses are offered. What's nice about this is you can click the drop-down menu and see what the course description is, so you have more info on that. And if you scroll down further, you'll see information on internships. So there you go, Priscilla, just an example. You can do this same sort of setup for any of those other ones. So I did want to show you how you get to those programs. You can take a look at the calendars too to see, you know, when things are scheduled. This usually helps you with your planning overall. Studying abroad, if you're planning on taking weekend trips or something, you can come to these pages and sort of navigate based on that. So if you do have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat as we go on. I wanted to show you a few resources that are especially helpful now, right now. As a student that's living through COVID and dealing with all of this like unknown stuff, you're probably wondering, okay, how do I know which programs are running, which programs are not running? Can I apply? Can I not apply? The best place to go is to Getting Started, this tab right here, and Can I Still Apply? This has our updated list of programs running this summer and then fall, and then probably eventually we'll have spring up there. If you just scroll to the bottom, you'll see summer programs, the program names, the city, the session, and their deadlines, and then if the program is running or if it's canceled. So that's a really nice cheat sheet sort of way to go check that out and see, okay, I want to go abroad this summer, I want to go do something, maybe even the fall is down here as well. You have a quick view of the application deadline, and then a quick view of if that program is running and you can apply to it. So this is a really helpful page. Is this virtual? Nor, I'm not sure I know what you're asking. But if you put some more info in there, I'll look back and try and answer your question. What did I want to mention here? I know what I wanted to mention. Summer. So if you're thinking about going this summer, I know that it's not an option for you at CSU Fullerton, unfortunately, but we do have a $500 discount on our programs this summer. That's okay. If you're thinking about going in the fall, we do have a new program opportunity. We just opened our program in Lisbon, Portugal, and we have a $500 discount for the first 10 students that are enrolled in that program. So if you're interested in getting an extra deal or discount and you're interested in Portugal, that might be a good route for you to take. So you can learn more about that right there.
Caitlin, Noor expanded on the question earlier, which is great because I'd actually like to reiterate this one point. So the question is this virtual for summer 2021 programs? Is it online or in person? So for some, let's see, what are we? Yeah, so for summer 2021, any study abroad programs or global engagement programs will need to be online because the university has still suspended in-person study abroad and global engagement programs through summer 2021. The earliest possible in-person programs are for fall 2021, which our application cycle is open and we are cautiously moving forward, still, heeding warnings and just kind of, checking the temperature in the world. But if you're looking for a summer 2021 program, they'll be online. So I just wanted to kind of reiterate that for any students who are thinking, when can I go abroad, right? So I just wanted to kind of point that out. Thank you, Kate. I didn't mean to interrupt. I wanted to address the question. It was an important question. So thank you, Noor, for asking.
Yes. I think maybe you'll have different sessions throughout today or tomorrow. from your university that is providing a little bit more info on how you need to, what steps you need to take as a Fullerton student. We are still running our programs over the summer, however, but if that's not an option for you, we do have some virtual things. If you click on programs and go to the online global perspectives, you can find more about our online courses and virtual internships happening this summer. So I'd encourage you to look there as well. The virtual internships are really great. There's a really nice workshop that runs along with them. And I wanted to point out one more resource that is really helpful during these times. And that's this Money Matters tab, which I mentioned before. You can find all of that info on scholarships, but you can also find info on the program fees and billing here. This is where you can find the policies. So if a program is canceled that you've already paid for example, what happens with your money, this policies tab is going to help you understand what is going on with that. Chances are it will be refunded, especially if it's a program that we had to cancel. But you can check out here to get all of that information. And I didn't want to click on that, but if you were at that program fees and billing page, a really nice way to get a glimpse of all of the program costs is just by coming here to program fees, because you can see all of the semester fees stacked right next to each other. So instead of going from page to page to page, figuring out what the program costs, you can just look here and see, okay, I have a budget, $10,000 is the most I'm willing to pay. You can come here and say, okay, these are the programs that I'm looking at, these are the programs I'm not. And if you scroll down further, you'll see the summer programs, January programs as well. So that's another resource I figured might be helpful for you today. And last but not least, we are on social, so definitely check us out. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. But the best one, I think, is our YouTube, because you can get connected to a lot of our videos that show you sort of on the ground what's happening abroad, like what a campus looks like, what a classroom looks like, things like that. I think it's really helpful to get a visual. So you can just click on the YouTube icon at the bottom of the page, get shot over to that website. You can even watch the playlists by country, which is really helpful. So if you're like trying to figure out which program you want to go to in Italy and you just want to watch the Italy playlist, you'll sort of get all the videos going around from Italy that might help you make a better choice. And lastly, it's our blog. I just wanted to show you where you can get there. And that's just at the bottom of our website by clicking blog. You can get to really fun resources like our podcast here, which is right on the right-hand side of the page. But we also have a lot of finance information here, my identity abroad posts, which is really helpful. So students, identifying as LGBTQ, for example, and want to know what students have, experienced abroad, you can read what's going on here. I think this is a really great resource. So definitely check this out. But that's all I have for you. I think I went over my 20-minute mark, but I'll sit back, and if you have any questions for me, I'll be here to answer them. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll drop my email and my Calendly in the chat so you have that with you.
Yeah, that was great. Thank you. So we're right on time. It's perfect. Awesome. Let's open up to anybody else. Did you have any other questions? You can drop them in the chat.
And you can schedule an appointment with me right here. I'm trying to get the live link in there for you. Will that work? Yes. You can schedule an appointment with me if you want to chat a little bit more about what you're looking for. I'd be happy to help get you on your way to finding a program that fits your needs. And if you're still here, you can click this request info on our website. This is to get you on our mailing list, our email list, but it's helpful because we'll send you reminders about like scholarship deadlines and other resources like, hey, the Boren scholarship is closing this week, get that application in if you'd like. So click on the request info and, drop your information in there, and we can stay connected as well.
Perfect. All right, everybody. Well, without any further ado, if you need anything, just go ahead and email. We'll go ahead and close it out today. Thank you again, Caitlin, for making time to be with us tonight. All the info has been very helpful, and we look forward to sending you students. Hopefully we get to send students abroad soon.
Yes. I'm hoping for that too. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate your time. So just reach out if you have any questions. I'd be happy to answer. Take care.
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night. This is, again, just day one. We've got 2 more days of the expo, so please feel free to join us for those other events. And we're doing opportunity drawing. So the more events that you attend each day, the more opportunities you can be added to our opportunity drawing. Have a good night, everybody.